Good afternoon. Thanks so much for tuning into CreatorQon today. I have the Zalenti sisters, Em and Noey.
This is having us.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Zletni.
Zletni's. Okay. Zletni sisters, the dynamic duo, the one and only Em and Noey, folks. Let's go today. And oh my goodness, there's so much to cover. But I want to jump right in. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about both of you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, girl, you're older, so you can kick us off.
Oh, you're kicking me off. Okay. I guess I'll start off by saying, so we're Em and Noey, like you mentioned. We are sisters. We're from Toronto. We're both queer. We have kind of a very diverse background as well. Our mom's from Goa, India. Our dad's from Libya. Different religions, Muslim, Catholic. So that's a big part of who we are in our background and growing up. And yeah, we create content. We love to create in the fashion space, also queer advocacy, a lot of sister content, of course.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Well, Am's the older sister. I'm the younger sister. Just a year.
By how much? By how much?
1 year and 5 days. Also worth mentioning, she's the older sister, but I'm taller by 0.5 inches.
Important.
Never miss an opportunity to throw that in there. Never.
Yeah. I'm the younger sibling, of course. But one other thing to note is, on our channels, we love to do fashion, queer advocacy, but our whole message, even beyond the queer community, beyond fashion, beyond anything, is just authenticity. Be yourself. That is our entire message. We like to live that by example. And yeah, just spread that, throughout the world. Be yourself and just be a kind person. Spread more love.
For sure.
So that's kind of a bit of background who we are.
Great. Look at the fits today, guys. It's on point.
Thank you.
We know you're known for your fashion content too. Lots of different content, but your fashion content is always on 1,000. So
we appreciate it. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about being sisters. What's the hardest part of working together? Not only do you work together, your faces are out there. It's constant. It's all the time. Tell us, what are some challenges, if any?
May or may not be opening a can of worms here.
Yeah.
But let's get into it.
You might regret asking that because the first answer is fighting. And if anyone else has a sister, sisters especially, I can never love someone as much as I love this girl. I can never hate someone as much as I hate this girl. No one can push my buttons better. So, when filming, one of us might be in a good mood, one might be PMSing, one might be cranky, and if we fight, we can't film. So if you ever see us not post, it's likely because there's a fight going on.
There's a fight going on. Oh my God. Who usually decides what to film? Who usually does that?
Good question. It's a really good question. I would say it's like a mix of the type of content we're creating. So like, if it's more like we both kind of collaborate together. Noey, I will say, is like really good on like the creativity aspect of like ideating and coming up with so we kind of like bounce back and forth. And then I'm more like, I like the editing and like, she's really good at captions. Like we kind of collaborate together, but like,
this also might be a weird answer, but we're actually going to try to show more of this on our content, but we're very spiritual. And again, this might sound wild, but we are trying to lean back and like think less of like what content we want to create and just get in that flow state, what the universe or the creator or whatever is out there, energy, inspiration hits. Because that, funny enough, has been most of our viral content or some of the content that performs the best is one take. And it was just an idea. We made it happen, and it was just inspiration from somewhere else.
From somewhere else, yeah. I want to. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say another thing is like a tactic we have is like we both try to come to when we film like with ideas. So it's like you come with 5, I come with 5. Those are our 10 videos for the day, and then it's like those 5 that are your idea. I'm just like there as your backup. Like I'll be there for it, and like so we kind of try to split it equally. But there are times when like. We will have like inspiration and be like, these are the okay, those are great ideas.
Okay, cool. So I want to get into 2 things you said there. Number 1, you mentioned, really good at captioning. Do we think a lot about captioning? Do you guys take a significant amount of time? And do you think it makes a difference? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I would even just speak for myself of what I love the most in content is not just the video itself, but the caption. I feel like it almost shows insight into the creator's personality beyond the content that they just made. And if you have a clutch caption that, especially a lot of times if it's funny and it hits, it could just take your content from like here to like
I was just gonna say that,
next level. So 100%.
Captions and like our kind of process with captioning is like, so we'll film the video and then we don't ever think about the caption at that time. And then when we're ready to post it, we're not together at that time because we don't live together. So we'll have like a phone call that sometimes could be like a 5-minute call where we're just like sitting, throwing ideas back and forth, roasting each other for the ideas as well. And then,
or sometimes it could end in a fight.
Sometimes ending in a fight.
And we don't even post the video.
Or it could be there for like half an hour, just like back and forth. Okay, let's hang up. Let's think about it. Call back. And like, it could be like a long process.
But it's so interesting because I don't know if as much people know that, like that there's so much thought going into the captioning. I think people always think that about the content.
Yeah.
I don't know if they think it about the captioning.
To me, it almost gives a portal to tell another story. So for example, a video, and you can obviously add on-screen text, but sometimes it's like, maybe it's not obvious enough to convey what we're trying to convey. That's where it's like, we'll leave it to the caption. So if anyone missed it and didn't get the message, the caption is just like another stamp of like telling the story.
And there's no better feeling. Like there's a feeling you have when you're like, you know, it's out there and you just have to get the words together. And sometimes I'll convey like the idea of what I want, and then Noey's really good at being like, here's the words. Like, and then the feeling when you actually just we have those like 5 words that hit, we're like, that's the one. Like,
I would say when we spoke to like the spiritual, like just letting the flow hit, the captions is like the most for that. Like we would literally have a call and I'd be like, it's not there yet. It's gonna hit us. We'll know when it is. Let's hang up, and I'll just be like cooking eggs or something. And I'll be like, I'll call her and be like, well, and we just both know when it hits.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I loved that. I mean, obviously in your introduction, you talked about obviously your identities, a lot of different things to do with kind of your inspiration, spirituality. I want to get into that shortly. Let's talk about being queer sisters. This is such a uniqueness to you both, like in terms of your content and like putting it out there, and we love it. And I think it's such an inspiration to see you both out there and like just the messages that you're sending. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, how do you guys feel about it in terms of like the message you're putting across? Do you feel like you're encouraging positivity? Just want to hear from you on that.
I just want to start really quickly for that on that. It's such an exciting point because I feel like that is like actually what a big, I would say, reason we're here. It's kind of what kickstarted our social media career.
Okay.
It's literally, well, first and foremost, kickstarted our relationship as sisters. Like that's what actually bonded us from being sisters to like best friends.
Yeah.
So that kind of created a really nice bond between us. But then going forward into social media, that was how we actually, our first few videos were touching upon the fact that we're both queer sisters. And that just like kind of was our first viral type of content. And so that's an integral part to who we are and a big part of our social media. And
yeah. I would just add on to that, even just beyond being queer, I think being queer was the portal that allowed us to realize how important it is in this life to be authentic. So that's why, like, we are queer creators, but we do want to branch out even beyond that, because through our queerness, we were able to realize, wow, being my true self, whatever that means, whether you're queer, whether you're straight, whether you're no matter your culture, how you look, how you sound, anything, the more you tap into who you truly are. I believe in a soul. I believe in our superpower. There's only one of you on Earth. There's millions of people. There's just one of you. That is your superpower. And so the more you lean into that, like this world, I think, tries to all make us look the same, be the same, act the same, but that's the opposite. And so I think our queerness, and we speak to our journey, but even aside from our queerness, we were born into a cultural and religious background. Our dad's Muslim, our mom's Catholic. Our dad's Libyan, our mom is Bowen. 2 gay daughters. Like, do the math on that. But we're spiritual, and I believe it was there for a reason, because it wasn't easy. If you look at old pictures of us, we're in dresses, very feminine, just being someone that we're not. And we saw the difference of, after coming out to each other, getting the courage to be ourselves, express ourselves through fashion, and
the support that we were able to give.
Yeah, through that, and we feel blessed, we were able to find ourselves. I don't think you're ever there, but we were able to find at least who we are and start to navigate that. So that is really the message that we try to share. Just be yourself. Like, as long as you're not harming anyone else, do what makes you happy.
Exactly.
And that, I think, is the key to life. But who are we? Who are you say? Just in our 30s?
No, I love it. And I think you guys are doing a great job of sharing who you are and even talking about who you are and putting it out there. What do you think are some misconceptions about you? What do you think people get wrong about you both?
Girl, we can say it at the same time.
Well, I'm actually curious what you were. Oh, no, I know what you're going to say.
Oh, you're not going to say that?
You're going to say that people think we're together.
Yes.
No, that's not the misconception. I was going to say people think that we're, like, not mean, but, like, not mean, but, like, a lot of times I'll meet people and they'll be like, I was scared to come talk to you guys, or like I guess maybe like intimidating, or I'm not sure
Not
that
approachable.
unapproachable,
Yeah,
or that we're not going to be
maybe.
super friendly. Yeah, I just like I didn't even know when I met some exes. They're like, "Oh, I thought you were an asshole," or "I thought you were," I don't know, like just like maybe
I feel like that's just like the eyebrow slip.
it's the tattoos and the eyebrow slip probably, but like I mean, you've met us. Like we're just like the most friendly. We tell everyone, but I think people who actually watch our content learn. Um, but at a first look, maybe because of our look and the tattoos, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Everybody's, it's so funny because and people, yeah, you met me in person too, where I'm like, I don't know, it's hard. Are people different in person than they are on camera and phone calls? It's always good, but like, yeah, you guys were so warm and friendly and like great vibes. So yeah, I'm always curious to know, what do people who follow you like think, or what's the gut check that you're getting of the misconceptions, so to speak? Yeah.
I would go back to the like dating, or that we're twins as well.
Right.
It's not really a deep one, but it's just like a surface level. Like they just assume, oh, those are the twins. Those are the twins.
Like we never said we were twins.
Yeah, like I can understand it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I want to talk about like TikTok, IG, brand collabs, growth, all the fun stuff. Talk to me a little bit about TikTok. Like you guys obviously do very well there. Share with me, how do you think you grew a following there? What was your secret TikTok sauce, if any?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record. The minute we were just ourselves, we actually, before we had our joint account, we had our own personal account, and it was during COVID. TikTok was just coming off, so we, were just doing viral, like all the viral trends on our own personal accounts, not being ourselves, just kind of like just playing with the camera. Nothing happened. The minute we came together, that was huge. Also, that it was like the two of us, but we just told our story. One of our most viral videos early on was us just telling our coming out story of how we came out to each other. And I think, again, like anyone, I truly like to believe that's going to be successful on TikTok or any social media or in life in general, is the people who are just being authentic in themselves. Because you could tell, even through a screen, you could tell when someone, I think like as humans, we have a spidey sense, like you're trying to fool me or you're being fake or
it's off. Yeah.
And it's
vibes are off. Yeah.
It's inevitable. The minute you put a camera down, you're not going to be 100% yourself, but the more you could tap into that. So I think even now, we're like in terms of us trying to continue to grow, it's actually just stopping to try, just starting to be like, just be us. And I think that's really helpful.
Yeah. I would add on to that as well. For both of us, clearly, like TikTok changed our lives, and both on the creator side, but also even on the consumption side of like seeing what other people are posting and learning from. And I would say like the biggest thing with TikTok is like I guess the forward thinkingness of the platform, the openness, the aspect of us feeling comfortable enough to share such like deep, vulnerable things about ourselves on such a platform, like versus like Instagram prior to that, it's like an entire network of like your friends, where it's like that aspect of judgment and a little bit weird, whereas TikTok was like, this is just a platform, and we kind of shared a little bit here and there, and we immediately felt like accepted, and like people really wanted to hear our story and really resonated with us. Just that response too really does kind of fuel that, like, oh,
make a difference.
It makes a difference. Yeah. So I think that aspect too, and like the whole like trends on TikTok, and like, sort of like seeing a trend, but then like making it your own and incorporating your story into the trend.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was a big one that we, latched onto pretty early and found that was something that works really well and still does today.
Yeah, because I think let's talk about that a little bit, about the separation of profiles, the combining of profiles, because that's not just unique to you both or as sister siblings or people who are couples, or all the time you're seeing like, okay, they have their individual pages. Yeah. Do you come together and then delete the other pages? Do you still show content there? Do you what's your thought process on that?
I don't even think right now we necessarily even have like a set strategy with that, but the way that it is right now is that we had our own pages from like, just whenever social media became a thing, like we just created our own stuff, but then less so on TikTok, more on Instagram. But then when we started TikTok, it was a joint page. And then we branched off into separate pages that we kind of do a little bit on our own, but our bread and butter is together. So there's not really any set sort of strategy there, but we do have like our joint one in general is our main priority with social media, and then we kind of share more of our personal like own lives on our separate ones.
Makes sense.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Makes sense. So let's talk about IG. Okay, is there a different strategy on IG than TikTok for you guys, and if so, what is it? Let's give us some insights here.
Yeah. Well, in terms of a strategy, I mean, I'm sure there is. We're still trying to crack that code, but we try to post daily. Getting together to film is not easy, as sisters we don't live together. So our strategy right now is we just repost. So whatever we post on TikTok, we post on Instagram.
Crazy.
But there has to be a different approach, and we end goal is are going to look more into that because we'll post the same video on TikTok and Instagram almost every time. They'll perform differently. Then there are some that will perform better on TikTok, some that will perform better on Insta. So there has to be a different strategy, but we're not tapping into that just
You're
yet.
not there yet. So the same content will perform dramatically differently.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no, because there will be one or two videos where it will go viral on both, and then that's when you know, like, that's just like content that everyone's relating to. Yeah, and the other thing is the difference in the comments are very like the comments on TikTok are very different than the comments on Instagram. I'm sure everybody's
Instagram's
aware of that. You know, Instagram is just like, you know, a different beast.
We don't look at the comments.
Whenever we want to do like a response to like a hater, we go directly to Instagram. Like, there's no TikTok replies because they're all so positive and like supportive. And then when we're like trying to make an educational video based on like someone hating,
of course,
I don't know if it was clear, but what she means is when we're like looking for a comment to reply to.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Reply, sorry.
And we only look on Instagram because we know all the hate comments are there.
All the love is on TikTok. Okay.
I mean, I guess for us at least.
And when doing, I guess, like a brand deal, do you guys prefer, obviously the brand will have their objective, like, hey, we're coming to do a TikTok or we're coming to do a YouTube or an IG or whatever, but do you guys prefer to do brand collabs on a certain platform? And if so, what platform and why that platform?
I would say right now, I think it depends on the time. Right now, maybe there might be a preference towards Instagram just because the algorithms are constantly changing. I'd say recently, and now it's kind of changing back, I guess, but there was a time where our TikToks we post, they'd pop off. And Instagram was a bit harder to tap into. Then there was a dramatic shift where our TikToks were not performing well at all, and our Instagrams were popping off. So I think it would just depend on the time where the algorithm's pushing our content up more, because it's just naturally going to do better.
Yeah, that's specific to like performance, I would say, what Noey's saying. But then in terms of like for us, where we would prefer to share, because we're cross posting, it's the same. We prefer to edit in TikTok. Most of edit in TikTok, but then like Instagram stories is a different thing too. Like in terms of brand deals and content, a lot of like those perform very well, and they're a little bit more like personal. Well, I feel like this is just my feeling. It's not really based on anything, but I feel like our followers like connect with us more through Instagram stories because they can directly reply and like it and do all those things. So like specifically with that, I would say that's a big difference versus TikTok stories is not really for us, at least a thing.
So,
yeah, that's another different engagement piece, I would say.
Cool. So what would you say is the perfect brand deal for both of you, other than obviously being paid? Outside of being paid, what's the perfect brand deal for you? What does that look like?
I'm just going to throw it out there, and I've said it in any interview we've done. Calvin Klein is the end goal, because we want to be I don't know if it's been done before, but we want to be the first like models for it that do both the boxers and the sports bra.
Woo! Let's go. Put this out there. We're tagging Calvin Klein at
Calvin Klein, please. First ever to do the sports bra and the boxers. We would love it.
I love that. Okay, cool. What are some of the, I guess, pieces now to a brand deal that you were like, you know, it needs to allow for this and this, or if it's not, like, I'm not doing it? Like, what does that look like at a high level?
I would say a big thing that we love is like, and one of the deals we love that we worked with you guys on was Mary Brown's, like working with that, because like specifically with that and in general, it's like, here's the product, here's the thing we want you to promote. Be authentic.
Start again.
Here's the product, here's the thing we want you to promote, be authentic and whatever resonates with your audience, not giving us like very specific type like scripts or things that like, it's like, here's the points you got to cover, go, you know, figure out a concept that's like authentic to you, what you think will resonate with your audience. So like that kind of freedom.
Yep.
And
something.
So creative freedom.
Yeah.
Creative freedom, but just another example. So we did a collab with L'Oreal, and it was funny because they were actually doing a makeup collab, and we are by no means, you know, makeup gurus in any sense, maybe back in the day. But what we pitched though was almost the opposite, that we have no idea how to use makeup. We're going to get ready as the femme versions of ourselves. Tell this day, it's our favorite video. It's all of our friends' favorite video. It did so well. L'Oreal loved it. We didn't know if they were going to accept it. They loved it. We actually got to meet them when we went into TikTok headquarters. They were like, the whole team was dying laughing when we
That's amazing.
And till this day, it's pinned. It's our favorite video. But that, like, the magic came together where it's not follow script. People didn't even know it was a brand deal because it was just so funny and authentic. So I don't know what that's called, but almost even like reverse advertising, where like I think BMO had like a rapper do an ad where it's like BMO would never really pair with a rapper, but it catches people's attention where it's like this actually shouldn't make sense, but it does. So I'm loving that.
Okay, I love that angle. And you know what? It's so interesting because I think, that whole reverse advertising thing that you just mentioned, and you're just being authentic down to your point of being who you guys actually are. And this is, we bang our head up against the wall here 100 times to tell brands, let them do it. Let them be creative. And then brands are still like, okay. And then they send us a brief, 19 speaking points. You're like,
like your audience can tell when you're saying something because you have to versus saying something because you want to.
Exactly.
And so, like, you know, it's like Noey's really good at like I would almost say like acting a little bit more. Like she can kind of sell anything, and for me, it's like you can immediately tell. I just can't like put on that fakeness as much. So it's
it kills me because we'll just be making a video and Am turns into a robot. She's like, when you stuff like, and I'm like, girl, gotta do another take of that.
Do that again. Okay, cool. Let's talk about, from a brand perspective, what, I guess, advice do you have for creators coming up who, are starting to build their following? Like, what advice would you give them about growing a following and or working with brands? If you wanted a piece of advice when you were coming up, what would it be?
Number one, consistency. So even when we started, I think that's any way to crack an algorithm or any type of social media, if you're consistent. So we literally promised each other for like 4 a year. And we almost met it for a year. No matter how the video performs, even if we get no views, we're just going to post every day. And the more you throw your content out there, if you make 365 videos, there's more chance that one is going to catch on and go viral versus if you make 10 throughout the year, right? So consistency, I'd say, is the name of the game first and foremost, and then be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. And then on top of it, like spiraling off the consistency too is don't like rely on the numbers. Like, so hard to do. Like that's a big feedback loop. Is like, okay, this did well, now I'm all motivated, and we fall into it ourselves, but we have to constantly remind ourselves that. And so if there's anyone that's starting out, just like create based on things that you love, and don't do it for the numbers. I mean, I feel like what I'm saying is kind of obvious, but
because people, I think there's the good news about the industry we're in, and the bad news about the industry we're in is there's no secret sauce. Doing it right. So you could really do it your way, but you want to learn from people along the way and take some insights and tips, right? So you guys have great, tips and insights to give. You're obviously successful. You're growing a following, you're working with brands. So I think, it's good insight for people who are coming up who haven't gotten there yet. Right. So, okay, cool. I want to play a little this or that. Both here. Okay. Trendy TikTok challenges or original skits?
Original skits. We might have different answers. That's my answer.
That's all good.
I like the
trendy TikTok challenges or original skits.
You like challenges, girl.
I love challenges, but I like to make our own original. If I could just draw out a skit for us.
I'll go with I think the original too at the end of the day.
No, I do choose trendy. You 100% would you. Just go with your gut.
Just go with your gut. Okay, I'm going to ask it again.
Yeah.
Trendy TikTok challenges or original skits?
Trendy TikTok challenges.
Original skits.
Spontaneous filming or carefully planned content?
Spontaneous.
Carefully planned content.
Toronto street food or homemade family dishes?
Homemade family.
Are you guys related?
No. Apparently not.
Okay. Matching outfits or completely different styles?
Matching.
Completely different styles. It's so funny.
Really?
Well.
We match our video.
Yeah, but we also we do both. Realistically, like right now we're doing like a matching jean jacket, but in vibes.
But it's the same style. Like it's matching. Okay. I don't know.
Totally. Listen, that's hilarious.
I'll on that one. We'll agree with the same one on that one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys are hilarious. Listen. Firstly, thank you so much for joining us on CreatorQon for our quick I think it's great insight again for creators coming up. You guys are both so lovely, high energy, great in person. I think any brand would have a fantastic time partnering with you both. You're very professional, get things done on time. It's all goodness. So thank you so much for joining, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having us.